this is the answer to a question from Darvish Music about whether or not ear training is a good thing to invest in. So I don't have an opinion about this because I've never done it, although I have been working in this business for 25 years, so my ears are quite well trained. However, I will say that it took me 15 years to learn that the technical side of things, if that's the focus, your songs aren't going to feel great. It's actually more important to have songs that feel great. And how do we enable ourselves to create mixes that feel great? Yes, we need the technical ability because often there are technical things that are required to action our creative decisions. But when we start being incredibly technical and staying in that mindset and thinking technically, we're on the wrong side of our brain to make things that feel good. And if you think about when you're in flow mixing without thinking about compression ratios or the milliseconds on a delay, and you're just going, put that sound up, that felt great. Or if you're playing music and you're just jamming with a group of friends without thinking and you're just feeling it and it's so good. And in that moment, in that rehearsal room, you're probably not thinking that the snare is 3 decibels too loud. It might be 6 decibels too loud, but it doesn't matter because it feels so good. So while ear training could be a good thing to invest in, and especially any sort of education in understanding the fundamentals of audio, but what's actually a better thing to invest in is setting up a scenario that lets you play the mix like an instrument. And that is why I love this console. This console lets me touch every parameter. I could do a Pro Tools mix with the screen off. Anything that I need to do, I can do with this surface. And with a template that's got deactivated plugins ready to go on the channels that I want them to go in, that are always in the same order, that allows me to have muscle memory with my spectrum analyzer right up there on the console. It lets me just feel and play the mix. And that is so much more important. So I would be thinking, what can you do to enable you to be more in the moment without thinking? And even something as simple as being consistent with your color coding. If I see an orange track in any of my mixes, I know that's a lead vocal. If I see the light brown, I know that's drums. The dark brown is bass. Yellow is percussion. Without even thinking, I just know I know what it is. And it's the same. My template follows the same sequence in every single session. So it's those things. Maybe a little 8-channel control surface, so you've got some faders. The soft tube stuff's great because it's cost effective. That soft tube console 1 also would enable you to set up a template. I forget how many buttons I had the first or the second version. Anyway, those buttons at the top, if you had a channel strip on all of your main the main channels in your template, without thinking, you could just put maybe channel 11 is always your lead vocal. You can develop muscle memory, you can be tactile, and you can feel. So I wish someone had told me that the feeling part was actually more important than the technical side. But having said that, maybe I was able to transform that information overnight because I had such a deep understanding of the technical. But I guess the point is, would you invest in the ear training? If you get some value from it, fantastic. But just make sure that you very quickly internalize that ability and let it supercharge your ability to feel in the moment without having to go into that conscious, slow thinking.